All right, hello and good day. My name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. In this video, this local SEO video, what I'd like to share with you is how you can increase phone calls from your Google business profile. More importantly, how I'm looking at it and how we're optimizing the profile. You know, I literally just got off a call with a client, and I was explaining it like the circle of life. And that's why I utilized the image inside of the thumbnail for today's video. I'm also going to record this. Give me a second here. Let's go ahead and record this. You know, the optimization of the Google business profile in your SEO is very much like the circle of life, right? And I'll explain what I mean by this. But it's really the evolution of a customer, right? And everything has to fit together. And everything works with one another. Now, before I get into the optimizations that will help you propel your business and get more phone calls and get more leads, before I give you context, what I want to point out here is two things. One, I'm going to share with you just some quick results from a test to let you see how important reviews are. Now, I can't share the business or any details, but let me point this out. Here's before the reviews hit, okay? And this will all come together. Just stick with me here, all right? But every single piece helps the other piece. Everything you do here affects this. Everything I do here affects that. Everything works together. And I'm going to try to put it all together so you can understand and have a much better overview of why I look at it like the circle of life. It's the circle of Google business profile in your SEO. But take a look at these reviews. All right, I'm sharing you this to build on the point. All right. So we have a business here, it's doing well. Every single review was dropped, at least 80% of the reviews. And what happened? Turned bright red. We went back in, added the reviews, basic optimization, and boom, the account went right back. This is within a 30-day span, okay? Now, I also want to show you another aspect of business. So I'm talking to a client, all right? This is literally from their profile. When we first started talking, he's like, hey, I really want to do well for repair. And I want to do really well for HVAC. I go into the reviews, right? And I take a look and I can see they have 800 reviews. Sweet. I take a look at this right here. Propane, gas, delivery, fireplace. And I say, hey, I bet you're doing really good for your propane. And I bet you're doing really good for delivery and gas delivery, propane delivery, right? And fireplace treatments, but you're doing bad for HVAC. Why? Because the circle of the customer. That's why. And here's what I mean by this. Let me start breaking this down. All of this works together that can help you get more phone calls, get you more leads, get you higher rankings. Everything works together. This is the point I'm trying to get to, all right? And it all starts with the site. Starts with your site. I don't care what anyone else says. It starts with a website. We have our website, right? On that website, what do? We have our website. We have our service. Then on that website, well, what do? We have our website.com. We have our service. And then we have our service location, right? This is part, oh, let me stretch this out so it makes more sense. Website, service, service location. It starts there. Now, how does that play into Google My Business? How can that help me get more calls? Well, first and foremost, I need to have, because I see this a lot, you'll have your website.com, and I'm sure you might be guilty, and it'll say service. And then you'll list everything on there, right? Or on top of this, or it'll be services, and from the services page, then we link out to locations, right? And everything's back tied to the top level page, which is services, but it lists everything, right? There's no depth of concept. There's no depth of understanding. There's no building on or being an authority in a specific topic or service in this case, right? Everything builds on top of each other. Now, what I'm getting at here is if I have this, let's build it, let's bring this back to more simple terms so everyone can understand this, all right? Let's say, all right, let's say that this is, better yet, here. Let's say that we are doing pressure washing .com. Pressure washing company. Great. This right here is house washing. Wonderful. Then we are going to do this. Just so we're both on the same page here. Again, stick with me. It's all going to build on top of each other. Okay? I'm trying to come up with a main concept idea to help explain this and give you a mental clarity on what I'm trying to say. It's almost like the circle of life, but it's more of like, it's like the customer evolution. It's the customer journey almost, but it's not. It's the optimization journey. The optimization journey is it starts with the website. We have our website. Here's who we are. Here's what we do. More importantly, here's exactly what we're doing. And then more importantly than that, here's what we're doing and where we do it. Okay? So let's come inside of here. More importantly, let's do house washing Houston, we'll say. Okay? All right. Now, how does this tie into Google Business? And why do the reviews, how does that have anything to do with anything? Because here's why. All right. So we have our website. First, we optimize the website. The next element that we need to do is we want to come into where the Google Business Profile is. Here, let me share this with you. So let's look up pressure washing. I don't know, in New York. All right. Let's see if we can get somebody just so we can start laying out a few things here. Let's see if this guy has. Now, I don't know who any of these businesses are. I'm just using these as examples. Okay. For future reference. All right. All right, so they're not listing anything out here. Great. Let's see here. This guy's not listing anything out here. Wonderful. He could be doing so much more. So much more. Oh my gosh. All right. Here. We're going to have our products. We're going to list our services, right, on the GBP. All right. I should have wrote all this out. Google Business Profile. See, on your website, this is the website, right? So on your website, you're going to list everything about you. You're going to list who you are, what you do, and where you do it, right? That's the depth of concept, okay? That's your website. We're doing house washing. More importantly, we're doing house washing in, maybe this could be Houston, we're going to say. On our Google Business Profile, we also have two sections. We have products and services. Inside of the product section, you're allowed to do what is called categories, all right? So you'll set your category as what? Pressure washing. Then underneath the actual category, you'll list the product, right, as pressure washing in Houston. Then I'm able to build an actual product that's geo-modified that's going to point at the Houston page, right? Now I'm able to explain to Google, hey, here's who we are, here's what we do. Now I've been able to say it on the website, and I've been able to say it inside of my product section. And what's really great about these products is I can send a link back to the website, right? On top of that, let's take a look at our services. Inside of services, Google's going to give you a boatload of recommendations, right? As you know, they might even just pick out words that are on your service location pages, and they'll give you that as a recommendation, even though you don't have a dedicated page on it. And you'll put that in and you'll get a temporary boost, but then about 2 to 3 weeks later, you'll drop back down, right? Google is not your friend, okay? They're giving you recommendations just as a, hey, look at this, but they're just pulling from the page. It's not like there's actually somebody there that's looking to help you. No, that's not the case. So what you can do inside of your services is on your website in your drop-downs, you know what your services are. These are the exact services that you want to list here. Service 1, Service 2, right? You're going to list each of your services inside of the service section, right? So now we have our website. We've brought down the depth of concept, starting with website, primary service plus location. In the Google Business Profile, in our product section, we set our categories to be our primary service. And then as our products, we've listed out each product, but that's going to be product plus primary service. What I need to show an example, because a lot of people are like, oh, what does that mean? I'm not sure. What are you talking about, Chris? Here, for instance, I've talked to this guy a couple times here. Let's see what he's doing here. So how about pressure washing Long Island? All right. I think he started to deploy some of them. I'll show you something here quick. So here, take a look here. So inside of here, see how you can list your categories? So you'll have each of your categories. You should have your 4 most prominent or most profitable categories first. See, when a client goes in and modifies stuff, it moves the newest stuff up and takes out the optimization, right? But what we need to have in here is we want to list our primary categories, your top 4. So pressure washing, power washing, house washing, soft washing, I'm not sure, whatever they are, okay? In this case, it could be gutter cleaning, concrete cleaning, paver cleaning, bricklaying. And then underneath that, what you'll see here is when this pops out, here's the category, and then this is the product. And the recommendation is the product needs to be primary keyword, primary service, right? Primary keyword plus location that you want to service. But it has to have a page. You can't just load it in here, right? It goes back to the evolution or the customer journey or the optimization journey of your website and your customers, right? Does this make sense? I hope this is making sense. What I mean by this is on the website, the actual website, I have my main website, homepage. Then I have my primary page. And then I have my primary page / primary service plus location. Now that's on the website. And that's it. I don't try to stuff services. I don't try to stuff products. Whatever's on the site, that's what I relay over there on Google Business Profile. Right? Is this making sense? So what I'll have is if I do house washing, great. Pressure washing, gutter cleaning, power washing, whatever you want. Primary service plus location. If I have 4 main services, I list that as a category. This is a category. And then each of the products that's underneath it, it's going to be primary service plus location. That's the product. Why would I do that? Because then I can tie a link back. How else am I going to tell Google what I do, who I am, and what I do? How? Right? We know that the links aren't going to move anything, right? You build all kinds of links, that's not doing it. I need to be able to make a connection. So I make the connection through the products, right? Right here, bang. This will go over to the location plus service page. Great. And then I can link back to the product or to the GBP from those individual pages. So that's the product section. Now let's talk about services. How else can we convey to Google and to our customers who we are, what we do, and where we do it? We want full transparency with our customers and with Google. We don't add anything. We don't stuff anything. We just keep it like that. Does that make sense to you? Yes? Great. So when we come inside here, under services, only the stuff that you actually list on your website. That's it. No added. Sometimes there's a miscommunication when I speak with people. They're like, oh, I thought we were supposed to remove everything. No, remove the stuff that you don't do. Not everything, right? Like, we don't want to go in there and load in a bunch of secondary services or primary services that don't even exist. We're just trying to target keywords. But we can have our main primary and then list the services that we actually provide. That gives us a boost. But when I just add a bunch of stuff, huge problem. Sometimes it's even easier just to clear everything and leave the primary. Up to you. Try both ways. Why not? All right. Now, the next piece that I want to talk about here, if we're talking about an evolution, right? Or we're talking about the journey of a customer and why I'm looking at it almost like the circle of life, because it's like, okay, what we're talking about right now is the optimize, right? We're talking about the optimization, right? Then we start talking about, okay, we did what? The products, the services, the GBP optimization, okay? So it's like, okay, well, what's next? It's going to be products, services, the Q and the A, okay? Then we'll talk about the reviews. I'll show you that. Product, service, Q&A, the reviews, and then it's going to be clicks, traffic, all right? Now, my process isn't your process. How I do things might be different than you. It doesn't mean that it's wrong, and it doesn't mean that you're wrong. I'm just trying to give you some insights on what's working for us, for me, for my clients, and for what I do. Add on to what you know. right? I'm not saying that this is better or don't do what this guy says or that guy says or this lady says or this company. No, no. I'm hoping to give you a value add, all right? This isn't the only way. There's a trillion ways to do it. Hopefully you can take away some tips from this video, all right? So talking about optimization, the optimization in the customer journey or your customer success journey in order to get them in the door to get more phone calls is we did products, we did services, questions and answers, reviews, clicks, and traffic. But every time we do an optimization, it's to reinforce the service plus location, okay? So we did products, locations plus service. We did services, that's just service. Now let's talk about our Q&A. Another spot that I see, right? Let's talk about Mike here. We come inside of the profile. We scroll down. Let me just see, did they even do any? Here, let's just pick one here. Let's see if there's anything in here. Let's just grab NYC Power Wash. All right, check this out. So NYC, or better yet, this guy, whoever this actually isn't the client I was talking about. It's a different name, but anyway. Here's some questions and answers. Here's another place to reinforce who we are, what we do, and where we do it. Like, why would there be, now, there's going to be non-customers and non-employees and non-you coming in here and maybe asking questions. Highly unlikely, but hey, it happens. You might get some randoms like this. Is it safe to pressure wash my shoes? Nowhere on the site does it talk about shoes. But see, the questions that need to be answered here are, do you offer pressure washing in Long Island? Do you offer soft washing in Long Island? Do you do gutter cleaning in Long Island? See, this is another place to reinforce service plus keyword, okay? Location plus keyword. This is another place. And it's not against the guidelines. Why? Because it's not spam. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give maximum value to the end customer. Right? I want to answer their questions. I want them to make the most informed decision that they possibly can, which means it's not spam, right? Doesn't go against the guidelines. Nowhere in the guidelines does it say that I cannot help my customers by answering these questions. Nowhere. If you can find it, show me. All right? So anyway, now I'm not saying you want to come in here and just keyword stuff the bananas out of this, but what I am saying is that these questions and these answers should be massively, you know, like almost mirroring locations plus services. All right, so this is Q&A. Now, inside the reviews, just like what I showed before, I had that client that came. All right, see how this is all tying together? See, I first optimized the website, then I optimized the services, then I optimized the products. But see, that piece that ties it all together is clicks, traffic, and reviews. This is where a lot of business owners get caught up, right? And when we're talking about reviews, a business that's doing good business is consistently getting reviews. A business that's consistently doing business gets consistent reviews, right? You with me so far? So I need to be reiterating from actual users the services, the locations that we provide. Now, they're not tracking all the longitudes and latitudes and where the account's from and all this other nonsense, but what they are looking at, in my opinion, I'm not Google, just my opinion, is that they are looking at what is being said inside the review. If you want to make an impact, I need more than one person talking about specific services, and I need more than one person talking about specific locations. If inside the review I can get more people talking about specific locations and specific keywords, I do better for that keyword. Don't believe me? Go try it for yourself. I assure you, it makes a massive impact. Don't think that reviews make an impact on anything. Check this out. Just like I showed you before. Here's where we had all the reviews. They took all the reviews away. They were doing massive updates in the last 2 months. Took them all away. We went back in, added them all. Not even one at a time. Didn't take our time at all. Went in there and slapped them all back. Whoop, right back up. Literally right back up. Like, this is how impactful they are. All right. So that's the reviews. So now this goes back to my my customer journey, right? The optimization and the customer journey of finding success for your business. You know, it starts with the optimization, products, services, Q&A, reviews, and then we have clicks and traffic. All right. Here, I'll show you a quick screenshot. Let me show you something here quick. All right. Here, stick with me, bear with me 1 second here. Here, I'll show you something here. We'll jump over here. All right, here, I gotta shut this little screen off for 1 second. Bear with me, and I'll pull up a specific tool. Give me 1 second. All right. Here, stick with me, bear with me. Let me pull this up. All right, now, here. Now, when we're talking about clicks and traffic, this is how important it is. All right, here, we'll go back to September the 15th until November the 15th. Okay, here, I'll take a quick screenshot right now of the two. And this is an overall map. So if we're tracking in grids, if we're tracking 10 different keywords, this is the average amongst a particular grid distance. All right, here, stick with me 1 second. Now, here's what ties it all in. Now, we've talked about services. We've talked about products. We've talked about optimizing the site. See, I go through this all the time with clients. They don't understand that, hey, if you have a service and it's worth us providing and it makes us dollars, it deserves its own page. And if we're doing particular services in a particular location, then we need to have that location page. Now, once you become an authority, let's say you're in Greensboro. In Greensboro, there's a bunch of little towns. Let me share with you the screen so I can make it make even more sense. All right, here. Let's come over here, Control V. Paste. All right, here. This is the map that I've just pulled up. All right, I just took a screenshot. This is 9:15 to 11:15. See how we're expanding? You know, we started with a 4-mile radius, and then we quickly expanded to a 10 or 12-mile radius. Poof, just like that. 9, 10, 11 in 2 months. See, these are the averages. Started off in 8s and 10s. Why? How did this happen? How did we expand proximity while increasing overall average rank? By following the process that I'm sharing with you right now. Because I know that every single thing works together. It all starts with the website. If there's particular areas or particular services that I provide, I create a page, right? Step number 1, just like I'm doing here. Primary website, primary service plus location. The top level page lists all the locations I do that service in. You with me? The next thing is I go over to the profile. I optimize the profile. If for instance, if I'm doing pressure washing, well, then I'm a pressure washing company, all right? I'm not going to put roof cleaning in the primary category. I'm not going to put nothing. The number 1 primary top service or primary category is pressure washing. Everything else is underneath that. And I'll convey that message to my end user, the customer, and to Google through services and products and through my website. Okay? And then in order to hammer that the rest of the way home, we're taking care of the Q&As, the reviews, and then we're doing clicks and traffic. Okay? You with me so far? So, the next piece that I want to point out is if I want to do better in, let's say, Huntington, right? Or better yet, in this Melville, and I want to do better for pressure washing in Melville, you better believe that I have a pressure washing Melville page. Then inside of my Google business profile, I have the product. It's called pressure washing. That's the category. And underneath that, I have pressure washing Melville. So now I have a link from the GBP going over. Then when you look in services, I have pressure washing, right? And then the links coming into the website say pressure washing, right? Then my reviews say pressure washing Melville, right? And then to top it all off, the last thing is, well, if I want to do better, I have my website, my reviews, my questions and answers, my products, my services, everything says pressure washing Melville. The reviews, the products, the services, everything. What's the last thing that I need? Well, I need people searching from Melville, looking for pressure washing, and out of the 30 results that show up in maps, or 20, I should say, before you have to click more, they choose me. They're choosing me. Then on top of that, if I really want to hammer it home, I start running ads. You don't have to run $100 a day. $10 a day goes a long way. You really, really want to hammer it home, you do all the optimization, you do all of the work, and then on top of that, I throw $10 a day down and say, hey, I just want to target Melville or a particular 10-mile radius for pressure washing plus locations, or just pressure washing in this area. It all ties together. It all works together. I hope this is making sense for you. All right? I'm making this video off of the last call that I just had, and I was like trying to describe or define, you know, the optimization journey and how everything works together. It all starts at the website. Then we come right into the Google Business Profile optimization, and everything else ties in with the users, right? The end users. Everything is tied in with the user. Like that is like the final piece. The reviews contain location and keywords. And then on top of that, the clicks and the traffic are coming from those locations searching for those services. And that's it. Now, this is a very, this is a very typical scenario right here. You can get all of the pieces right. Like month 1, I don't even start running clicks and traffic. I got to get the website and the website structure done first. During that first month, the website structuring and restructuring, we're taking care of the optimization. Then after that, when we start to get to month 2, right? I was already working on this project a month before, probably, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, before I even decided to start running clicks and traffic for that particular area for those specific keywords. Once we do that, once the website's in order, once we start getting the reviews, we've optimized the profile. Once I add the traffic, it's over. It usually goes right up. This is very, 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 very typical, depending on the area. And this particular business right here, this is right in Long Island. So, I mean, not the easiest place. All right. I have to meet with maybe I can refine this message, but I think I've pretty much got across exactly what I wanted to. I'll answer some brief questions here. I love you breaking down the process for us like this. Keep up the great content. Surely, John P. It's my pleasure. You know, I got some guff from a pretty large name, and I thought it was pretty interesting. You know, I completely agree with a lot of information that's out there. There's just one piece that I don't agree with, which is this thing called spam fighting. Like, I don't, you know, do I think categories are a big driving factor? Sure. Do I think optimizing the profile is a driving factor? Yes. Reviews, for sure. I agree with everything, but I do not agree with the spam fighting aspect of it. Like, you know, going after other people's businesses. Now, hey, let's put a caveat on this. Now, if I'm working on a project, we've been working on it for months, and then magically, all of a sudden, a unverified listing pops in front of me. They have an exact match. It's tied to an exact match abbreviation domain, and they shoot right up inside of maps. Hey, we might knock them off. But an actual business looking for minor infractions in order to tell on somebody, no. We don't do that. That's out of line, in my opinion. Hey, Chris, how are you doing, man? I'm doing very well. This is coming from Tom here. Could you show us an SOP or a little checklist for obtaining a client? An SOP for acquiring the client to fulfilling the service. That's a great question. That's completely outside of today's video. However, that right there is pure gold, right? It has taken me 10 years, right, to be able to figure out, okay, you know, to be able to, referrals are number one driver, all right? Once you've done enough work, the referrals are the main business, because referrals are going to be the same type of client in the same type of niche that have the same type of demeanor, right? You know, you're friends with people that are like you, right? So referrals are my number one source at this point. I've been very, very blessed. You know, when I first started getting clients though, like I was really big on, I mean, other than Black Hat World, we did paper ads. I've talked about this numerous times. Half-page ads in the Sunday paper and in the cities. Like, that works to this day. You want to get clients, go run a half-page ad targeting a specific niche in a city that's nearby to you. I guarantee your phone rings. Like, yeah, I'm an SEO guy, but like those old media still works perfectly fine. Aside from that, it's running at like Fiverr and Upwork now make it so easy. You can run ads. Like, you couldn't do that 5 years ago. So that's that. But anyway, that's a whole nother talk for another day. As far as fulfilling an order, you know, like I've seen guys with SOPs, and yes, the basic fundamentals of what we're going to do is definitely an SOP, right? A standard operating procedure. But that's what it is. It's a standard operating procedure. Some clients like things certain ways. Other clients like them another way. Some clients want to double check. You know, every client I've worked with has had some type of difference unless you're starting the project from the very beginning. Like, it's never the same every single time. Never. I'd be curious to see the projects in which it's the same every single time. So yeah, that's interesting to me. When I'm building out supporting content for my location landing pages, do I need to make them geo-relevant? Okay, Tom, great question. This stuff, it makes me insane. All right. When you're building out these pages, I implore you to please stop adding location information to do with parks, ice cream shops, statues and monuments, nearby gas stations. If you look up your keyword, any of your keywords, whoever's watching this, you're a pressure washer, garage door, window repair, a lawyer, personal injury, we buy houses, whatever industry, go and look at the top performer. Look for your keyword plus location. Or actually modify your location to search for the primary keyword. I guarantee you none of the top performers have that stuff. None of them. Not on the page that's ranking. Not on the page that's ranking. If I'm optimizing a page around a specific keyword plus service location, that's what I'm optimizing the page around. If you want to build out location modified informational content to support a location service landing page, go for it. But no way am I ever going to talk about an ice cream shop on a pressure washing Long Island page. Never's going to happen. Never, ever in a million years. So to answer your question, no. To make it geo-relevant, it's zip code and the word that you're targeting makes it geo-relevant. For instance, if I'm targeting Long Island, then I want to have the zip code of Long Island and the word Long Island. Now I'm relevant for Long Island. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. Is it possible for you to run your mic up a little bit? Oh, so that's probably a little bit better. Do you recommend creating tons of articles related to a niche on a website? If not, then why? Okay. I get this question a lot, right? There's a gentleman out there. See, the advice out there, it's not that anyone is purposely giving you bad advice, but not all niches are the same, right? E-commerce and affiliate websites are far different than local websites, all right? I work on local websites. So do I ever recommend that you go out there and create 50 informational pieces of content inside of a category? No, I don't. Like, it's just overkill, right? Like, what I do recommend though is if we're going to create pages, all right? For instance, let's just keep on to our example right here, all right? If I have website.com, all right? And we're doing house washing, all right? I'm just using this as the example. Will I create pieces of supporting content to support house washing? Absolutely. Generally, those supporting pieces of content, house washing / what is house washing, right? The questions are generally who, what, when, why, where, and how. 6 questions. If you answer those 6 questions in a local market, generally you've hit every angle that there is. And if you build out a robust piece of content by answering the who, what, when, why, where, how questions, you also can answer the variants of that question. What I mean by this is how many different how questions are there about how much does pressure washing cost? How many different how variations are there can I include inside that article? You have to remember, an article ranks for more than one keyword, right? So I can talk about more than one keyword. And the best part is when we're creating supporting content, informational content, I don't need to be as fanatical about optimization. I can include a boatload of keywords. Like, I don't need to stay super prominent on the primary keyword like I am for house washing Houston. See, when I'm trying to answer what is house cleaning, I can hit every angle imaginable. That article could rank for thousands of keywords. In fact, that's what I would recommend. So, to answer your question, do I create thousands of supporting pieces of content? No. Generally, we're going to create 6 to 10 to answer the who, what, when, why, where, and how questions. And inside of those articles, we want to expand them as big as we can to hit every angle imaginable, to talk about as much stuff as imaginable. Hopefully that helps you out. So that's why and how. All right. Running ads will bring clicks / traffic, but can we go with managed CTR manipulation for the same? No. Depending on the system that you're using, all right, there has to be a certain level of vetted and verified clicks and traffic like, you can't just manipulate your way to the top. It never works, depending on the system that you're using. So if we're talking about running clicks and traffic paid, there's a certain percentage of clicks and traffic that we can run that are manipulated in order to see success. But I implore you to show me an example of somebody that has a brand new asset, brand new, in a competitive market where they were able to go from 0 to the top in a very short period of time, just manipulating everything. I've never seen it. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. Never. Never. Now, I've seen lots of people, you know, where they'll have a particular asset, they're doing everything right, and they're sending in a percentage of manipulation in order to find success. That is helpful. So to answer your question, can you just go with managed CTR, clicks, and traffic? My best suggestion is to utilize, your best judgment, but send in a percentage. If you're doing everything right, you don't want to muddy the waters. I hope that helps you out, right? A percentage will help you immensely, my friend. I assure you. So I love the response. Turning on notifications from now on so I don't miss out. The responses did help a lot. Thank you. Great. Glad to help. How to make black hat backlinks. When's the new store coming? Oh man, Tom, I know, dude. I've had a lot of stuff going on, Tom. Well, with my father passing, he was my main manager. I moved my brother up, so there's been some shifts internally. Basically everybody in my company, there's 9 of us, right? So out of the 9 people, everybody moved up a spot, and now we're bringing on another 2 people. So now we'll have 11, right? Plus myself, so 12. So we're moving everybody around, but the new store's coming along very well. What I started doing was I started to create each and every one of the pages. So on chrispalmer.org, what the plan is going to be is, say, stuff like this. So press release service. Here, I'll show you this quick. I'll show you. I might have made it, what did I call it? Just to show you an example, Tom, since you asked. All right, give me 1 second here. I don't know if I made it services or distribution. There's been a lot going on lately, so bear with me here. Here, I'll just show you this one. So what the main plan will be is I recreated an additional store to mend all of the issues that I've learned over the last 3 years with the white label store that I've been running. All the small little issues, right? So what we did is we recreated a new store, only hammering in the services that we want, and we made individual pages for each and every one of those services. And then we made an individual product form, and then I answered each question that frequently comes up about that service. Also made the navigation of the services a lot easier. That way it's a menu instead of a bunch of pictures, and people always get lost, right? Because most people don't know exactly what they want. And then two, I want to lean more towards done for you instead of done with you, because that's been the main thing that I've done, was people come to me and I'll say, okay, here's the restructuring, here's what you need to do, lay this out. Here's the links that you'll need. Here's what you need to do. Now go into the store and do it. Now what we're going to do is not only can I tell you what you'll need, but we'll just go do everything for you. Previously, I was just selling the service. Now we'll do done for you completely beginning till end, depending on the client. So yeah, it's coming along great. And you're right. I need to meet with my brother right now. That's what we're discussing. Who's going to do what? But man, yeah. That it was tough. You know, we'd pop passing, man. That's been tough. For me, I had a rough week, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm probably going to change for the new year. Like, I always make yearly goals. Last year, I wanted to make sure I had my testing group, do my tests, host my own event, and I wanted to grow my network of PBN sites. So now we have 1,261 PBN sites. This year it's launching a new store, launching a new agency, and expanding on the sites. Yeah, got some crazy stuff coming. My partner and I built a tool for website traffic and clicks, so we'll be launching that like any day. Got some good stuff coming. But yeah. Let's see what these questions are. So let's say we were already getting 50 calls in a month organically, but not ranking for master keyword. Can you go with CTR manipulation? You're getting 50 calls a month organically, but not ranking for the primary. Can we go with your CTR? And that's completely up to you. You know, my service can help you get more of what you already have. Right? If you're looking to expand proximity, I can help you. If you're already in position, like if you're doing bad, if you're ranking number 40 and you throw CTR into the mix, like, yeah, I might be able to get you to 20, right? Or 15, but that doesn't really move the needle, right? You understand what I'm saying? It's if you're almost there and you need that little bit of a push to push you over, I can certainly help you, you know? So, I can't read what that says, but okay. Looks great. Hey, when creating all right, this will be the last question, Mo. All right. When creating a supporting page, can you have it as a blog page and link it to the main page? Of course. All of the pages that are on a site, like I always refer to Backlinko, right? When you're on his site here, right? Like we never use blog. He could probably get away with that because it's a decade in the making, right? It took him a decade to get here, to become a force in the niche, right? I always love the structure of this website. When you come to blog, you know, if you're a regular service business, let's say that you're a personal injury lawyer. So you could do like personal injury tips, right? Whatever has volume. Instead of calling it blog, I would call it personal injury tips, or pressure washing tips, or garage door opening tips, or chiropractor tips, or whatever makes sense that has volume. Then when I'm on that blog, right? Remember I mentioned to you who, what, when, why, where, and how? When I'm on the blog, when I click on this, it doesn't keep the structure of blog, or in this case, personal injury lawyer. When I click on this, it's going to image SEO, right? This is 15 tips for image optimization. See, he's targeting head terms because he could do that. He's got the backlink profile and the authority to go after these terms. But for normal people like us, right, it's much better to have the 15 tips for image optimization. Or in your case, if you're a service area business or a service business, you would have, say, I don't know, plumber, right? This would be plumber, Ohio, right? And then it would be plumber, Dublin. On your actual page, you'd be building links to your plumber page. What I'm getting at, maybe I'm getting too far off the question here, but it doesn't matter where it's housed. As long as it's actually linking in the structure to the proper page to be able to say, hey, this is supporting content. Like your blog could be housed wherever you want, but when I click on it, the structure is proper and the internal links are pointing to the proper place. I hope this makes sense to you. Just because it's in the blog doesn't mean that the top level page has to be called blog, right? Like you could have a blog in each section. Like every service that you provide technically should have its own supporting pages, which means technically it should have its own blog, right? So hopefully that answers your question. And by the way, I love Backlinko's site. I like to use it as reference a lot. Yes, I understand. Thank you. Cool. Perfect. Wayback Machine for content. Is this an old hack? Just thought on trying it. So, with AI now, we built a tool a long time ago, about a year ago. Used to be able to yank content off of there and rework it and launch it, right? What you'll quickly find is, could you find content? Yes. Is it worth the trouble with AI now? Not really. Not really. So, can it work? Sure. But I don't think that that's the way to go. Bro, my site on top yesterday, but today it's not showing in the search results. That's because the SERPs fluctuate hourly, daily. So I wouldn't be too concerned with that. If you see a consistent downtrend for 30 days, then there's an issue. All right. So it's been a pleasure. I have to run. I got to meet with my brother. But thank you so much for your time. It's 2:30 now. It's almost been an hour. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I'll make this into another concise video. But if you have any questions, leave them in the section below. It's been an absolute pleasure. Great video, Chris. Thanks. Do you offer this type of service, local SEO? I sent you an email. Yes. If you're serious about doing business with me, the absolute best thing to do is if you go right over here to chrispalmer.org, click on consultation, it'll take you right over to my calendar. If you're actually serious about working with myself and my company, there is a paid intake for serious businesses. All right. Serious businesses will read the fine text, right? What you will see inside of the fine text when you click on this is that after you actually sign up is when you pick a time, okay, it will tell you that the cost of the meeting will be taken away from the actual services. So it's $50 off the top because you're going to need backlinks. You're going to need restructuring. You might need schema. Who knows? If you're serious about working with me and my team, go in here and book a time if you're serious. It's the only way that I can get rid of the tire kickers because I can't spend my day talking to people that aren't serious. So if you're serious, book a time. All right? That's the best way to get in touch with me. Okay? All right. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time. I'm always happy to help. If little Chris wasn't up, I'd have to go get little Chris right now, but he's home for today. So I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Blessings, by the way.